Good evening, everyone. Umba, Manas, Dakani, Khadija, Yusuf. How are you all doing?
I'm good.
Oh, that's great. So basically, yesterday we were trying to perform a password crack hack, but yesterday I think due to lack of stable power supply, my system was a little bit, heavy on tax and it was slow for some reasons. So, but today we'll be looking at all that. Currently, if you can see my screen, there's a password crack going on, but I'm going to cancel it so we all get to see what I'm about to do before I get started. Okay. So basically, guys, hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right, great. So yesterday we performed an enumeration for network discovery. Then we discovered the IP address of this particular Linux server. After that, we tried to encrypt the server by performing a little bit directory search to find out what and what was present on the server. And I think we did, uh, let me see if I can command it. Okay, we used dev search. We use this particular command dev, and I think let me try and show you guys the tool from this place. Mhm. So basically, Dev Search is a web crawler application. What it does is it tries to check for possible entries on the website, like possible links that you could enter. So these are some of some other applications. We have KitKat, we have Dev, we have Dev Buster, we have for Go Buster and WBud. So I think basically most times I use this for Go Buster and Dev, especially when I'm trying to crack an API directory or I'm trying to find a loophole. So yesterday we performed a dev directory attack by specifying the name of the URL of the website or the IP address. And again, if for example you are new to one of these software packages, all you can do is you can just type the name of that package or the name of that application and type help. On typing help, it gives you an idea of how it works. Okay. Valid.
Sorry, it sounds like you're far from your mic.
Oh, can you hear me better now?
Yes, I think it's better, but you still sound far.
Wow. Okay. Let me try the second one then. Look like I need to change this other one. So how about now?
Yes, it's better.
Okay. All right. Great. Great. So like I was saying, with the dev, all you just have to do is actually type help and it will give you some bits of format. Okay, I think this one will not have that. But basically, for most of them, once you just type help, it will give you how it's supposed to operate and you'll be able to use it. So here, all we just need to do is just specify the host and by typing there, that's there, then put in the IP address. For this particular one, we found an IP address of 192. Okay, you can see the IP address here. And we also had two ports, that's port 80 and port 443. So you can just 192 dot 168 dot 0 1 1 3. Okay. So we have what's going on? Okay. Why you Let's you go find it. So basically, sometimes if you don't remember, you just ask them, or you ask chat to whichever one. What you do that, then you answer it. Can I find it for that? Okay, let's see. I'm going to there, there, okay, 192 once, once, 102. Let's see. Wow, this is impressive. Hmm, nice. Hmm. What I mean is about one by the fish, fish. By the way, remember the HTTP of 8 is ah, okay, interesting. So automatically going to generate some what we actually want to scan the website to find for different directives that we do. And then also yesterday I forgot to mention also while different HTTP status that's like for oh my god. Oh, how did I put that? Okay. Wahala. I just have to restart my session again. So while that is going on, as I was saying, we have different HTTP status. I think let's try to search some of them so we could understand them and see what they do. Or let me even ask ChatGPT. So while ChatGPT is giving us that, we'll be able to talk a little bit about it and try to make you understand what is actually going on. Because yesterday I recall that while I was doing some directory attack and I was explaining some things, seems like some people didn't understand. So I think it's better we have a short note on that. And I recall some of you actually came up and made me that you didn't understand some of those commands. So I think I'll just try to explain those commands to you before we go back and continue with what we are doing. Hey Billy, were you able to download the Mr. Robot file? Hey.
Is it the link you sent last?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that one.
Yes, I downloaded it, but I have not installed it.
Okay, so let me run you guys by that. So basically, if you want to install that one, all you just have to do is you come to your virtual box. Based on it's going to be a little bit different from the way you did with your Kali. So all you just have to do is come to File, Import, and then when you on clicking on Import, it takes you to the location where your file is. So you can just choose this place. That's the choose appliance or whatever. So wherever the location of your file is, you search for it, then you put it. That's all, and then it will come back here, and then you'll be able to see it on this particular interface. All right,
Okay.
so basically, we use the HTTP status that I'm talking about. Let me type it here. Let me just So as you can see, it says HTTP status code are standard response code given by web servers on the internet. They indicate the status of a specific HTTP request made by a client, such as a web browser or other application to a server. So these codes are three-digit number and they provide information about the outcome of the request. And recall yesterday I told you guys that we have from 100 to 500. So and 200, I told you guys that is when you have a successful request or something, and then 300, just like it specify here, for redirection, and also 400 client error. Then I told you things like 404 not found, all this 403 and the likes, and then 500 is mostly for server error. So like this, you need to understand this numbers so that when you see them, you'll be able to know how to respond to it, how to walk through it, and how to go about it. So basically, I think these are them. They are 1 to 5, or like say from 100 to 500. So with this in mind, on seeing it, or maybe when you are trying to get access to a particular software or a particular website, okay, you'll be able to use that to perform your activities.
Hello?
Sorry, Olayinka, could you
I'm
mute?
not
Could you
guys,
mute
but
your
very close
mic?
to people now. Yeah, damn. Yes, sir.
Olayinka, could you
Yeah,
mute your
damn.
mic? Oh my God.
Yes, sir. What do you say?
Sorry, could you mute your mic?
Okay, I should have with Abby.
Yeah, your mic. Yeah, hey, thank you.
So now with that, and also yesterday we found out that this website was actually a WordPress website. By seeing that WP. Basically, most times once you see those kind of manual when you're performing a directory crawling or directory search and all that, when you see all those kind of things, it's there to give you information about what type of website you're working with. So in particular, that one was a WordPress website, and Linux actually has an inbuilt WordPress scanner. So I think I'll also show you guys that and how it works. Let me see. Hopefully it had it here. So I'll show you guys. Let me see if I can find it around here. Thank God they actually have it. So let me type it in. So this WordPress scanner, basically you use it for anything that has to do with WordPress related. So that's what you use the WordPress scanner for. And also, first of all, let me try out that derp that we're talking about, because I want to show you guys the whole thing again once more. So create new windows. Right. Just like I said, derp is the name of the software or the application. Then I'm going to specify the IP address or the URL, whichever one it is. So 192.168.0.113 slash. So now, if you notice here, it said word list file, and it had a directory or a location to the word list file. Now, this word list file contains different username, password, and all that. You understand? So basically, it will use this. It's just like it contains random names. You understand? Random names to random places to random password and all that. So with that in mind, it will be able to, like, it will be testing out different things. That's basically what it's doing here. It keeps testing out different word, different directory until it finds the one that gives indicate either a 200 or something. So once it tries out all that, if just like here now, as you can see, it was done with 0, and then it left it, something like that. So it keeps trying them out. For the ones that it's able to pass, the moment it passed those ones, it moves to the next step. The moment it passed it moves to the next level. So that's basically what it's trying to do here. And also, I think, let me see if I could try and perform the WordPress scan. Let's see what we get. Like I was trying to tell you guys for the derp, but for some reason it didn't work. So now here it said if you want to see the full list of options. So like full list of options, like it's telling you your full list of command. All you just need to do here, it specifies a little for us. So you see, once you type WPS scan with H or with dash dash help, it will give you a list of a command that you could actually use to carry out whatever it is you want to carry out, in case maybe you are new to it and you don't know how to go about it. And sometimes if you don't know how to go about it, just go ahead and ask Google. I'm telling you, or you ask, thank God for ChatGPT now, so you don't need to stress yourself. So you can just like help. So once you type it, it will bring out a full list of whatever it is you need and show it to you, just like it did here. Okay. So all these are just possible commands that you could actually use to. Sorry, could you mute your mic, please? So these are possible commands that you actually use, but here we could just try to perform. Let me see. 192.168. So I don't know. Are you guys familiar with these IP address classics like things like subnetting and all that? I don't know. I am not expecting everyone to know about it, but I just want to know if some of you are familiar with it. Is anyone familiar with that, guys? Can you guys hear me?
I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, okay. So basically, I think it would be nice for you to be able to check that out on your own, um, you know, on your own time.
Sorry,
Is
please check what out. Can you check what out?
I should what?
I said you said we should check something out. That's what I was asking.
Okay,
Like check
okay.
what out.
Okay, I said it would be nice if you could check out network IP address and subnetting of how they work, how networks are being arranged and everything.
Okay.
So basically here I've specified the web URL, so I told it to scan it and then it's going to carry out that. And I think let's check here. So here is still kind of okay. Here we have a 301. So from our little search on ChatGPT, 301 is like a redirect, so which means we have a redirect here. And also, I think from yesterday's class, you could remember that we were able to find some few things like the WP login. So while that is going on, so that I won't waste too much time, let me try to get on with the ones that we already know. And also, this is not the only possible way to actually do this. We still have another software called Nikto. I think I don't know if it's still present. So you could use Nikto. Nikto also is another way for scanning a website or something, so, or an IP address to find out what's it. So if you just say Nikto, and then I think type in the host of whatever it is you want to type. So sorry about that. So if you just type in Nikto, and then you specify the IP address, which is 192.168.0.113, and then you give it to it. It also tries to carry out the whole stuff. Okay, let me start session. All right. So I think this is the login page. Some of these we actually found them from the whole dev busting output and all that. And sometimes if you are like working on this, you are working on this and you maybe want to save all your findings into a particular file, you could maybe like specify it this way. Let me show you that by once you run this command, that's dev, then you specify the URL, something like this, 192.168.0.113. Then this particular arrow here.
Sorry, please, I have a
Okay, go ahead.
so this derb tool that we are using, right?
Yeah, yeah,
What like I know that you said it's supposed to find hidden objects.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
What what is it trying to find in this
Okay,
like
what I'm trying
I
to
can just check the website.
okay, what I'm trying to find using this is that you know at first yesterday when we entered the website, I just used the IP address. I used the IP address to like sorry,
Oh
could
no, yesterday I was not around. Did you record?
okay, yeah, I did a little bit, but I think I will plan to
I
actually.
actually missed yesterday's class.
Okay, all right. So let me just show you a little bit what happened yesterday. Yesterday,
Okay, please.
after we scanned the website, we got this IP address. So after getting this IP address, it was just displaying this page, that this particular page with all this writing. So I was trying to find another way is there anything that I could do to, because our main job here, our main task here is to try to get access to the server or to find way of entering into any other places apart from this. And then I also mentioned that it was a competition server that was used before, something called capture the flag. Capture the flag, but we normally call it CTF challenge. It's mostly used by mostly cybersecurity engineers, especially the penetration testers, to carry out competitions. They give out, they tell you to find some kind of keys and code like that. So this server was here, and automatically we don't need anything from this place. So I just like, okay, is there any other way we could access the server? Are there any other files present? Because we only had the IP address, we didn't have any other link to any other place. So that was why I made use of this to maybe see if there were other link that was not present on this particular interface. So as you can see, it's still like running some of them, and then I think it found some few directories, but I think this one's off, really of no use because it's even a 301. So I'm waiting for it to give us a status code of maybe like 200. You understand? So I think it's still handling that. By the time it's done, we'll be able to get, maybe if we get a status code of 200, then we'll be able to visit those particular sites and see what is present there. So yesterday, when we visit some of those sites, I found this file. That's the robot.txt file, which is this. Then I think this index.html too. And yeah, and I think this WordPress login page. That was where I found this WordPress login page from. So when I found the WordPress login page, automatically we didn't have any way of logging into this because number one, they didn't give us the username, neither did they give us the password. So that was where, and I said, okay, since we didn't have the username or the password, we are going to try to crack this particular one to find out what is behind this door and what can we find from this place. So that was why I was trying to perform the Hydra attack yesterday, if some of you remember. So, but I'm still going to do that again today so that we can all see that and try to see. So I think how some of this password cracking is being done, and sometimes you'll be able to see what and what it is. But first of all, before we even do that, let me even specify some one or two. I think given from that side, let me try something. I think I saw earlier the other time when I came to this page, and what was the name? Okay, Mr. Robot. Yeah, Mr. Robot. So, like I said yesterday, basically I kind of know some of this stuff based on I have watched this series, and I think I participated in during the attack practice because I didn't go for the main competition, just the practice. That was about 2021 or no 2020, yeah, during the corona period. A friend of mine introduced me to it, so I just tried to find my way around it. But here now we are going to try the Mr. Robot. Let's see. Let's try password. Let me see. Don't see. Okay, let's enable this. So let me try out another one. Basically, I'm just trying to get around this, so to just make you guys understand. But like I said earlier, we don't really know what that password or username is, but we are going to know because we are going to find our way around it. Because I think basically that's one of our job, and this. And also, I think I need to mention something. As a cyber security engineer, there are different job that you can do. Sometimes your job might not necessarily say, okay, here it says invalid username. So I think now with this, we know that this username that we are specifying is not correct. So I think if we are able to get the right username, I think this is one of the things that even as a developer you have to watch out for. You have to make sure that when you are coding or developing your website, you try not to make sure that you let a person know that maybe when he put this username it will be invalid, or when he put this password it will be invalid. You have to just make it like either invalid credentials or invalid password and username. Try to make sure that you don't try to be specific. Because if, for example, now you tell me invalid username, and then I try out another username and it showed me invalid, and then I'm able to try out another, but then I get maybe a valid, it doesn't show me invalid username this time around, it shows me an invalid password. So with this in mind, you'll be able to like start having an idea of how to go about cracking what you're, because once you realize that this username is valid but it has an invalid password, with that you start, uh, picking your way through doing random selection until you get the right one. So I think now we should try to, let me see if we have gotten some instances from this. Okay, look now. We have a code 200, and it's leading us to. It's going to lead us to maybe. Let me see. This favicon.icon. I think it's just an icon or something. Let me come here. Oh, didn't I copy the file? I guess I didn't copy the file. Let me see. Okay, favicon. Okay, so let's go here and find out what is here. I'm sure there's nothing really important that's in that place. So while that is trying to load up, I think I should also try to gain. Let me try to see if we could crack that particular website. So we have other tools for password cracking. Actually, I think I should do a brief introduction to that before we actually even go down to cracking anything. Yesterday I talked a little bit about it. I think I mentioned Hydra, and well, I'm taking going to okay. So we have password attacks. So I think this is one of the reasons why I like Linux, kind of, because I think the way they actually organize the whole thing. And I think Ubuntu also did that. Ebele, and in your Ubuntu operating system, did you find like an interface like this there? Is Ebele with us? Okay, I think. Alright, I think probably it's not present right now, or maybe network. So in password cracking, we have a list. We have Seal, we have Crunch, we have Hashcat, Hydra, John, Medusa, we have Ncrack, we have Upcrack, we have Wordlist. So I think basically I have used Hashcat, I have used Hydra, I have used John, and I think I have used Medusa also. So I think basically, for example, the Hashcat normally I think it crashes password hashes. Now, I think password hashes, for you to actually better understand password hashes, these are like your when you try to encrypt your password, maybe when you, like, let's say a particular word or maybe a particular list of something, and then you try to hash it by maybe converting it into something that is not readable. And I think an example of hash that we have MD5 hash, SHA-256, and I think SHA-128, or is it, yeah, I think SHA-1282, and then we still have others as much as possible. So I think let me show you guys a little bit about password hashes, because it's important that you know these password hashes so you'll be able to identify them. Let's ask ChatGPT about password hashes. Okay, let me stop this. Because it's important for you to know these password hashes, and sometimes it's even important for you to be able to identify them. Sometimes you can just see some password hashes, and then you'll be wondering what it is, what is that. And another sweet thing is there is a way to actually identify password hashes. Like me now, sometimes I have a website that I normally go to. I think decode.com or is it decode.org. Okay, let me just try to go to the website so you guys can see. I think decode, yeah, decode identifier. This decode identifier, what it does is sometimes I can just literally, when I see a hash, I pick up that hash and then I send it to decode identifier. It identifies the hash for me. It identifies the hash for me, and once it identifies the hash, I automatically know that okay, this is this hash, this is what I'm supposed to do with it. So let me see. Okay, here ChatGPT said a password hash is a one-way function that takes in input, in this case a password, and transforms it into a fixed size string of characters, which is typically a sequence of numbers and letters. So the purpose of using password hashes to enhance the security of self password. Okay, all this English. Basically, what this is trying to say is that the password hash, it carries the password and convert it into a alphanumeric sequence of numbers and letters in such a way that normally it's not readable. Like it's not something that you understand. It's just random letters and numbers and all that. And I think a strict one is going to be, let me see if I could actually convert a short. Okay. This was something that I was actually working on. I did not even know that this thing saved it wahala. I was actually working on one tax on Pen Tester Lab. I'll actually tell you guys about Pen Tester Lab later. This particular thing that you see here is actually a hash. I was working on it, that was I think some month ago. But I find it funny that this thing kept it here. So this particular thing here is a hash. This is a hash. So I sent it here because I was trying to identify the hash, and this here is the name of the Linux operating system that I was using. I was thinking it would be able to identify it, but it was not able to identify it the way I wanted. So I think if you click analyze, when I click analyze, I was expecting it to give me a list of something, but here you look at what it said. It gave me crypt. It gave me rag baby, substitution cipher, shift cipher, homophonic cipher, basic 64 coding, Virginia cipher. But it was none of this actually. At the end of the day, when I figured it out, it was none of this. It was an MD5 hash, right? Is that an MD5 or yeah, I think it was an MD5 hash or is it a hash 256? I can't even remember. But it was one of those. So I that was what I used to actually crack it because it didn't identify it. I had to like remove some other things for it to identify. So like basically here like this from this part down here is actually a hash code. So with this in mind, you'll be able to like sometimes when you can get this kind of thing and then you'll have to crack it and find your way around it. And I think another good one is for you guys to actually I don't know if you could do that it would be nice to study cryptography at your own free time. You could just try to study cryptography and you'll be able to understand it. All these hashes, weight of encryption and decryption and all those stuff. If you could study that cryptography, honestly, it would be nice because I think cybersecurity is a very vast space, and you will need to know a lot of stuff for it to be. And the truth is, to be very honest with you, even if you should apply for a course, which I would definitely recommend for those of you that are trying to, improve in cybersecurity, you should be aware of the fact that you might not gain everything in from one place, or I think they will train you based on their syllabus, but you also have to, find a way to improve yourself on your own. It's very important because, as you all know, you cannot get everything from one place. You just have to pick from here, pick from there, pick from the other side, like that. So I think let's come back home. So basically, Hydra. Let me use this. I think I like the way they categorize it. For offline attack, you use your hash card. You have okay. Hey, there's another hash identifier here, say on Linux. What this hash identifier does is it does similar thing with the decode identifier. You give it a hash, and then it identifies it, and then it tells you what type of hash that is. And also, John John, all you just have to do is you sometimes you don't even need to. I think the other one did that particular hash that you guys saw over there. I later used John to crack it. Based on you could just give it the hash and then it will identify it by itself and then carry out the password crack. And then you also have these off crack CLI, but I haven't used this one before. And I think Sam dump. Okay, so all these ones are like for offline. Maybe you've copied the hash code from your online server or wherever you got it from, and then you just put it in a particular file, and then you bring it. You use the command code, of course, and then you'll be able to run it. And then these ones though they are just for offline attacks. Then you have your online attack. My preferred one is Hydra, of course, and then I think you also have Medusa. You have the Encraft. You have 161 Partitor. Okay, I think I've used Partitor once, but I don't know for some reason I don't do like it like that. Then I think you have passing the hash to. Okay, crack map exec. Yeah, even these two, crack map exec and mimical. Sometimes you use it for maybe like all these when you want to perform an exploitation on some of these servers or system. Maybe if you are trying to crack a password or something, you can transfer it or send a soft a part of it to another server using this Python server what. But anyway, let's come back to the main thing. I think we are trying to crack this WordPress dive away too far. So let's try and crack. We will be using Hydra by the way to perform the crack. So here I call in the name Hydra. Then I'll specify verbose. That verbose, what verbose or what this capital letter V means is that it's telling you, okay, I want you to show me what you are doing, and that's while you are doing it. So that's what this verbose stand for. And then I specify the word list. Remember that file that we downloaded yesterday, that fsociety.dictionary file. So I'll be using that. So just dic then we give in a p. This p here stands for a password. So I'll just specify a password name test, since we don't actually know the name of the main password, and also the IP address. The IP address is 192.168.0.113. And I think also we specify the HTTP form. Now I think another thing you need to know is, I don't know if some of you know this or you know this. We have what we call HTTP method. Those are like your post request, your get request, your update, delete. I think sometimes it's called CRUD, right? Create, read, update. Okay. And I think you also have. I think no. I think that one is a little bit different. But then we have HTTP method. It's something that you guys have to know as well, because your get request, what it basically does is that it helps you bring an HTTP file. Like for example, now when we type the name of this website here, with the help of get request, it will show us the page of this website. And let's say for example you want to log into your username or your password. When you click that submit button, that's where post request comes in. The post request kind of posts it and send it to the server for it to like authenticate and verify, while your get request tends to like get what you want. It's just like you're trying to get something or something like. So that's basically what post request and get request do. So here now I'll be using a post request. So I'll like specify HTTP, that's HTTP post form. So here I'm telling it that okay, I'll be sending this request. So that's why I'm specifying that post form. Then I will be specifying the directory to which I will be sending it to, which is our WordPress login page. That's our WordPress login page. And okay, I'm not spelling that correctly. What I beg. So dot php. So I will give it a log. So this log is basically telling you that okay, log in this particular username. So I'll specify the user specify the password. So I'll just use and pwd. No, please, the pwd actually stand for password. So equals to password. That I'm going to use and hyphen. So I'll just like specify it. This pass that I'm actually passing in, this word pass, I'm giving it a random password name because we don't know the name of the actual password. So we'll just give it a random password name, and then we'll also specify WP login submit, sorry, so that that's for the submit button. So specify login, then remember that error code that we got, invalid username and stuff. So we'll also specify it here in case if maybe there's a failure, or it should show us that okay, this particular one is invalid or something. So I'm going to write it here. Okay, so I think we should be good to go now. Enter. All right. Okay, did I miss anything? Specify. Okay, I think I missed something. Oh, okay. Our login page, I didn't put a slash by the side. I have to add a slash because I have specified the IP address, and it's a directory, or yeah, it's a directory. So basically, I have to add a slash so it will be able to like recognize that. Sorry about that. So I think we should be good to go now. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's asking me if I want to continue, but no, we'll continue with a new one. So, okay, all right. As you can see, I don't know. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
So, okay, look, look,
Yes, we
look.
can see.
It found a password. Wait, it found a password. It found a username actually. As you can see, we got this particular one, the one in green here, specifying. Let's try this particular login. Can you guys see it? So I think it found this one, which means this one. Let's try it. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. Oh boy. Okay. Elliot. I think wait, Elliot with what then? Is it password of what? Let me see. Okay, Elliot with password test. Let me try that out. Okay, that's wonderful. So basically, this is just how some of these things work. And I think another reason why this one was a little bit faster is because the system does not have much security like that, because the vulnerable one. So you can't expect much from it. Okay, wait. Password test, not 123. Test. Alright, so login. See. Okay, you see, the password you entered for the username Elliot is incorrect, which means the username Elliot is correct, but then our password is wrong. And recall I told you that for this kind of thing, sometimes it's best for you not to allow this kind of errors to show, which means that we have the right username, but we don't have the right password. But now that we know the username, we can use this username and still try to find um, the password. So I think let's try that out. Let me come here. Yeah, okay. I think since we know the username now, let me see if Okay, our Nicto page also found something like that. You see, the Nicto also does the same thing. Okay, here is target IP 192.168.0.113, target host name, same thing, target port 80. Interesting. And then I think so far it found index, it found index.html. Hmm, let's keep going. Okay. Oh, alright. I also recall we also did one with WPS scan. We found some few things about the website as well. Interesting. Okay. Okay, it let us know that the server is an Apache server. And okay, give us some few information. XML RPC. Wow, okay, we'll come to that one later. Well, but for now, let's try to use this one to gain access. WPS scan. Okay, we specified the URL already, but this time around we are going to specify both the password and the the username, since we don't have the password. So we'll use this WPS scan to try to find the. So here I'm going to specify that same word list that we used the first time. Hopefully this time around it will be much more faster. But we already have let's see, F society. Dot dic. Then we specify the username. Oh God, chill, chill. The username is the username was Elliot, right? So okay, so we have the URL, we have the word list, we have the username Elliot. So let's see what we get. All right. So please, I hope you guys are getting an understanding of what I'm doing. I'm trying to make it as comprehensive as possible because I know that yes, it's a little bit confusing. But please, if you have any questions, just try to indicate so that I'll like explain it to you guys.
What of people that have,
Sorry?
I said, lots of people that have plenty questions, a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah,
questions.
don't worry. Go ahead. Ask. We'll answer the ones we can answer, and if there are some that maybe have to do this thing, don't worry.
So
Just
let me just start with one. Like this would list now, right? That if you is going to give you a list of maybe 20 passwords
sorry,
that
sorry.
are
What?
there.
What do you say?
Like when we are trying to maybe get a password or something,
Yeah.
you know there's a command that we are going to like paste there so that it will give us a list of possible passwords that could be there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How is the list customized? Is it customized based on the information you give, or like how is it? Because like okay, I can just say maybe I want to crack this password, and then I
Yeah.
put I want to crack this website or something, and then I place the person's username, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Is the list of passwords that I'll be giving list of possible passwords that
yeah. Okay,
must
okay,
be customized?
okay. Sometimes, if for example, like you have an idea of the kind of password the person might be using, but you don't know how it's going to be. We have let's say there are word lists anyway. I think I mentioned that yesterday. There are word lists that are available that you could actually use to it just use basically it's a random guess or something. Yeah, you're just randomly guessing it. But let me show you something. Let me show you something here. Let me see. Um, let me see. Password word list. So we have what we call password word list. Okay, this is someone's GitHub page. Has password word list. Let me see. Let me see this particular one. Basically, you just have to generate like. But I think for most, if for example, like let's say you want to crack sometimes you want to crack some of these let's say like an admin page. Like me now, sometimes I have to try admin, and then it will work. And sometimes you could just try admin, then admin one, two, three. Some might work, some might not. But like some of these website now, okay, see this password list. It just contains random names, password, princess, 1 2 3 4 5 6 ABC. So sometimes if you don't know the password, you could just carry the person's name, username. You just have to. It's trial and error. You understand? If you can't get that, sometimes when you're not able to get the password and the username, another thing you try to do is social engineering. So like what social engineering is like you trying to get in contact with the person, try to know who the person is. Oh, I think that would be nice. I think this would be a nice time to actually show you a video. It was inside that PowerPoint slide actually. Well, I think let me check here if I could see it, where this hacker was trying to like crack this password, but then he couldn't crack it, and then he performed a social engineering. Based on sometimes when you are trying to get access to someone's account, or let me say when you are trying to hack somebody, and then or maybe when you are registering for a website and they tell you that what's the name of your favorite pet. I don't know if some of you have experienced that before. Maybe the name of the city where you were born. Have you ever experienced all those password security questions? Okay, sometimes there are some websites if you want to.
Yes, it's just yeah.
Okay, you've seen that before, right? So I think there's
Yes.
good. Now I think there's a video here that I think talks a little bit about that, where the guy was like